Good evening, tubers. Madam Roy back once again. Wow, let me try to fix this a little bit. I'm playing around with some lighting differences, trying to get a better. Let's see if this works. Oh, okay. Well, that works pretty good. How's everybody doing tonight? It's about as good as we're gonna get. Yeah, so this is going to be Tech Tuesday. Tech Tuesday, where you get to ask me your technology related questions. And if I don't have an answer for you, hopefully someone else here will. Just watching a video from Retro Spectre 78 on creating a retro Microsoft network using real retro hardware. And boy, was it ever retro. He was using old, what did he say it was? It was a Net 33 card with BNC connectors. See how many you remember BNC connectors? He was connecting a 286 to a 486 DX33 to a Pentium 2. The 286 running MS-DOS 6.22, the 486 running Windows 3.1, and finally the Pentium 2 running Windows 98. It was very interesting. He was showing you how you map the drives and basically everything works. Yep, you got it, Eric. It's a token ring network. Yep, he was not using Ethernet. And what I'll do is I'll share that particular video with everybody here. You guys can watch that at your leisure. So a few updates. I'll wait another minute because officially this doesn't start till 7. So I want to be fair and give everybody a chance to get here. And I really wish I could figure a better lighting situation. Oh, thank you, Samuel. $2 super chat from Samuel Heron. I appreciate that. You will always get a shout out if you do decide to give a super chat. Ricer Alpha says, hello, hello. Don Brody. Hey, Matt, good to see you again. Thank you very much. Just did get a haircut today. I had absolutely no choice because I went out riding my bike early this morning, and my hair was so long, I could barely get the helmet on, and that's the problem that I have. I have such a big head that helmets don't usually fit well anyway, so I had to get a haircut. Came out pretty good. Had a number 2 on top, number 1 on the sides, because the hair tends to grow out on the sides quicker than it does on top. Oh, AAA haircut looking good, Matt. Thank you. It'll actually look better in a week or two when it grows out a little bit. But anyway, I really enjoyed watching that video. It's been a long time since I've worked with any retro tech. I do have computers similar to that. I actually have a Dell Dimension XPS or Dell XPS D233 running DOS 622 and Windows 3.1, but I do not have any 2 or 386s left, and I may have a 486, but I'm not sure where it is. Believe it or not, I have a lot of retro gear in that closet in the storage area that's behind where I keep my clothes. Unfortunately, that has been sealed up for the past 5 years because during the wintertime it gets really cold in there. So I'll be honest with you, I have not been in there for years. Honestly, it's a time capsule. And one of my planned videos in the next year or two is to go ahead and get in there, clean it out, and we'll see exactly what's in there. And I'll be honest with you, I think one item that's in there that would probably interest you guys, I'm almost positive I have at least 1 or 2 Model M keyboards in there. You know, the IBM Model M's with the clicky keys. Are you growing a mustache for November? I could try, but honestly, I don't have a lot of facial hair because I have what's a condition called keratosis pilaris that prevents me from growing most kinds of facial hair. So the small amount of facial hair I can grow is very spotty at best. Don Brody, hey Matt, I finally found a Laserdisc player at the thrift store, a nice Panasonic to go with my Pioneer. It's sweet. They're getting very hard to find at thrift stores now. No, I did not cut my own hair. I went to Great Clips. I have cut my own hair in the past, but it's a pain. And excuse me, I just don't really have the time to do it. They can do it in about half the time that I could. And the only way for me to do is go in the bathroom, stand in front of the mirror with the clippers, and just kind of go like this, and it makes a mess. The hair gets down the drain, clogs the drain up. It's just not worth doing. Okay, so while there's a lull in the conversation, I want to give kind of a it's kind of a sad day, let's say. My good old trusty reliable Logitech G7 gaming mouse that I have used on this computer for years, you can see it right here, has pretty much bit the dust. It does technically still work, but the scroll wheel is iffy at best. The DPI buttons don't always work. And then the transceiver here you can see is really, really loose. And a lot of times it won't even work until I pull it out, put it back in, and kind of wiggle it around. So this mouse has really served me well. I got this mouse about 8 years ago, used at a garage sale for a couple of bucks. So the only thing I've had to do to it is I had to buy new batteries for it, and those are probably about 5 years old now. So you know what? It served me well, but it's time to put this away, probably throw it out, rest in peace, if you will. Now, what has replaced it? I've already got a replacement for it, and I went to Office Max this morning looking for a mouse, and I went in their clearance section, and I found this. This is the Microsoft Sculpt Comfort Mouse, which I have used in the past and really, really liked it, though they haven't made this for a few years, hence the reason it was in the clearance section. If you look really close, you could see that the white has actually turned yellow in spots. This is not a camera trick. This is actually the yellowing of time. It actually dates from 2015, so the included batteries I threw right out because I figured they didn't have much life left in them, if any. But this was like a $50 mouse when it was new. I got it for $24.99 on clearance. The mouse itself is Bluetooth. It does not have a transceiver. It is 100% Bluetooth, so you can connect it to any computer that has a Bluetooth adapter. And this is what it looks like. It's got that Microsoft blue LED in it. If you can kind of see it, it's blinking right now. It fits my hand very well, very ergonomically designed. You can see it slopes down towards the front, so it's very comfortable. My wrist actually sits very well on it. And one thing I really like is the swipe back and forth. So if you want to go back a web page or forward a web page, you just swipe this. See where you got the home button there? Basically, if you push that, it'll go home. But if you swipe down, it'll go back a web page. And if you swipe up, it'll go forward a web page. And I really like that feature. It took a little bit to get used to, but really enjoying it right now. Yanks One fans on I said no Office Max here in New York locally or Office Depot. Yeah, a lot of them have closed. Office Max has been out of New York for years now, and I think they actually all switched to Office Depot, if I'm not mistaken. Hired Gun says the haircut is pretty spanky there, Matt. Well, thank you. Everybody keeps saying it's like a military haircut, and it kind of is because it is really short, and that's the way I like it because my hair really grows like a weed. No garage sales. It's I gotta wait for the weekend. We'll have to see. This is the time of year when they really start to wrap up. And because I'm gonna be leaving town for about a month, I'm not sure I'll be able to get to any up there because at least up where my uncle lives in upstate New York, they don't really have any garage sales this time of year. It's just too cold. We might find something else to do. Don Brody, hey Matt, I found a Sony SLV 575UC VHS Hi-Fi VCR at the thrift store. Have you ever seen one of those really cool unit but no remote? I will have to look that up because I don't know all these models offhand specifically. So let's see, SLV 575UC. Yes, I have seen it. That is a very rare unit, actually. It's from the It's a Sony days, so we're probably looking at early 90s. Something like that, you want to go ahead and immediately take apart and number one, clean the heads. Number two, you want to look at the belts because chances are the belts have turn to goo, or at least a few of them. Probably the drive belt more than the actual. Oh, my mind's just gone right now. The drive belt that actually drives the head motor, not necessarily the belt that controls the cage, but either one you want to check. Make sure they haven't turned to something resembling like rubber paste. Eric goes, I had one in Deptford about 25 minutes from me, and they moved it about 45 minutes away. Yeah, they're struggling just like all other retailers now. Everything's going to online, and unfortunately, these brick and mortar businesses, even the ones that are technology based, are really suffering right now. Pridkins, are you driving the GMC Yukon XL to New York? I believe so. Barring any issues before I have to leave with it, yes, I will. The backup vehicle will be the Tahoe, and I really don't want to have to drive the Tahoe up because I don't think it's going to have enough space for me to bring back all the stuff that I need to bring back, which, if you guys remember, I left about 13 of those Dell Optiplex towers up there. I need to bring those back. I'm also going to be meeting with the same gentleman that I got those computers from. He will more likely than not have other systems that I can buy off him. So I want to make sure I have a vehicle that can handle everything I'm going to want to bring back. Now, I do have another option too. Mom and Dad will be coming up at a later date for Thanksgiving. So if they're going to take the old van, my old Chrysler Town and Country, there's a chance that I can go ahead and pile some things into there too. But I don't want to have to rely on that. Office Max closed by me what is it? Ages ago. They only lasted 2 months, Mr. Jimmy said. Yeah, like I said, they're all kind of going out right now. Best Buy is even struggling now, though Best Buy is doing better than Office Max and all the other standalone technology stores. I don't know about Staples though. Staples is usually pretty good. Though they've closed some locations. The one near my uncle in Nimmensburg on Front Street in Binghamton closed a few years ago. I'll have to talk to you about that later, Eric. It's been really crazy around here today. I had to bring the Yukon back into the tire shop because that one rear driver's side tire kept losing air. And luckily, it was just a valve stem problem. So I haven't had a lot of time to do much of anything today. Matt, have you bought any digital cameras or GPS units lately? Not recently. The last digital camera I bought was actually my Nikon D5500, which is sitting up there and really needs to be used. I got that actually for my birthday last year. Mom bought it for me, and I have not had a chance to use it hardly at all. I'll probably bring that up with me because it really is good for filming like cooking videos, things outside where there might be fast motion, whereas my cell phone not so great at that. So we got 18 watchers, 13 likes. Wow, you guys really do like these. I'm going to try to do a different themed live stream each night that I do one this week. I'm not saying I'm going to be able to do a live stream every night, but I'm going to try my hardest. And just a FYI, I am really tired tonight. So if my mind isn't working at 100%, please forgive me. I'll do the best I possibly can. Chip Boulay goes, Matt, what is your opinion on the Waze app as a GPS alternative? I am glad you asked me that because I have a pretty good experience with the Waze app. My friend Jeff turned me on to that about a year ago, and I absolutely love it. The Waze app has a lot of features that I like above what Google Maps does, basically the Google equivalent. Couple things I like are the turn-by-turn directions that Waze has. It has a better voice. I can hear it more clearly. The Waze app tends to be better at traffic avoidance. They keep it more up to date. Whereas sometimes Google Maps, the directions, you don't always get the freshest traffic updates there. Another thing is the Waze app will alert you if there is a police car near you, a stalled car, or a broke down car on the side of the road, and you can actually report that to them as well. So the Waze app just tends to be a lot more accurate, and I would highly recommend using that over Google Maps. Now, that being said, there are times that I've noticed the Waze app just plain doesn't work, and I think a lot of it has to do with server overload more than just like an app crash, like a bad update. But as long as the Waze app is up and working, or up and functional, I should say, I would recommend using that. Eric goes, I like the more detailed maps in Google, but Waze tends to use more data because there are times I cannot even get it to load. It does. That is a trade-off. The Waze gives you more information, so it will use more data. Now, I have unlimited data with my AT&T plan, so that's not a concern for me. But if you have limited data on whatever plan that you have, you might want to take that into consideration and maybe use just the Google Maps. Down Brody, I got a 20.1 megapixel Nikon Coolpix with 16 gig SD card for $5 at a thrift store. Wow. It amazes me what people will donate. They probably got it as a present and then didn't know what to do with it and just donated it. How's this lighting doing, by the way? Is this showing my face pretty well? I'm using this LED light that I got from, it's a stick light that I got from Lidl last year. Good. Yeah, I think I'm going to continue to use this for the time being. What do we got? 20 watchers and 17 likes. That is so awesome. Pradkin says you can get the navigation DVD disc for your GMC Yukon software update. Yeah, I priced it out. It's about $20 on eBay to get the 2009 version. It was like 4.0C. But I'm probably going to wait on that because honestly, I don't see myself using that navigation very often, mainly because it's just so out of date, and my phone will do a much better job than that ever would. Hey, Matt, it's looking great. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, I drank the last of my water, so I'm gonna have to go this whole live stream without a drink of water. Oh well. But I am really liking this mouse. If you guys ever are looking for a good Bluetooth mouse, this Microsoft Sculpt Comfort mouse is definitely the way to go. Yeah, I can read back here. You know, works good with Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7. Four-way scroll wheel, so you get navigation up and down, left and right. I haven't done the left and right ones yet, but the navigation wheel, which is that big blue thing right there, up and down will advance or move back web pages. It takes a little bit to get used to, mainly because you're going to want to use your thumb to do it. Like if you're here, use your thumb to go up and down. And if you have short thumbs like I do, it's a little challenging, but for most people, it's no big deal. The one thing I really love about this is the wireless Bluetooth. The fact that it doesn't actually use a little dongle that people always lose. This just connects to Bluetooth. And that's, to me, I don't understand why everything isn't like that. Yeah, I get it. Some computers don't have Bluetooth, but the majority of nowadays do. And it's much easier to have something like this than have to worry about losing that dongle. And if you lose that dongle, then you're SOL, because pretty much their frequency is tied to that particular mouse or keyboard, or heck, I've even seen gaming joysticks and headsets use those tiny little dongles that everybody loses. Wow, 28 likes. That is awesome. Tall dude, 123. So I had to leave as my computer was updating the video card. That's one thing I don't like about having a newer gaming PC. The graphics card updates once a week. GTX 1060 6 gig. I wouldn't know what to do with a card like that, mainly because I'm not a gamer. Yeah, there is a little bit of a trade-off. When you have higher end computer equipment, gaming computers, video editing, high end video editing rigs, the trade-off is there's a lot more maintenance, i.e., driver updates. You have to maintain your fans, make sure you clean them out, make sure they don't get dust built up on there. You have to even maintain things like thermal paste, because thermal paste will break down quicker in higher end systems, and you have to replace that on a semi-regular basis. Stephen Barber is drinking coffee. Wow, what time is it where you are? It's like 7:18 here. If I drink coffee, okay, all right, this is something you guys will find interesting. I used to be able to drink coffee this late at night and still sleep all the way through the night. Now, if I drink coffee any later than 1 p.m., I'm up half the night. The caffeine just gets to me. It's insane. Jeff asks, what are your thoughts on Intel Optane memory? I bought a PC with 16 gigs of Optane memory with a 7200 RPM hard drive. It's super fast. I'm very surprised it's on par with my laptop running an SSD. Well, the Optane, from what I understand, is very similar to the hybrid hard drives. They used to have a small amount of SSD memory, and then the rest of it was a conventional hard drive. It is a excellent option because it's cheaper, for one, than having a full SSD, and two, you do still get the reliability of having a solid state hard drive. And I believe Optane has the newer memory. I can't think what it's called right now. The NVRAM. So it should be faster than, say, a conventional SSD would be in an older computer. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to consider when buying a new computer. That's about all I could tell you about it. I haven't actually played around with Optane, but I know people that have had it and been very, very happy with it. Is it? I wanted to see if it is or not. It is. It is now standard. So Intel Optane memory is NVMe. So right there, you're going to get more speed. Miss Jimmy, I'm on my third cup of Joe. I had 3 myself today. I'm trying to limit myself to 3, maybe 4 if I'm having a really bad day and I need that boost to get me through the day. But, they say that a good rule of thumb is up to 6 cups of coffee a day is healthy. Now, that being said, if you have high blood pressure or other health issues, you want to talk to your doctor. But for a normal, healthy individual, it's okay to have up to 6 cups a day. Pradkins asks, how many speakers are in your GMC Yukon XL Denali? I believe 6. Eric, you can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I know for a fact there are 2 in the back in the door panel, 2 in the front in the door panel, and then there are 2 tweeters up in the A-pillar. Other than that, I'm not sure if there's a subwoofer somewhere. There might be. I don't know. Chip Boulay asks, Matt, any good VHS DVD combo players out there on the market at this point in time? I still have lots of old VHS and DVD that I would love to watch them, but hard to get ones that are compatible. No. And as a matter of fact, the ones you can find new that are on the market now don't even have built-in tuners anymore, because there was a lawsuit that prevented the new manufacturers from putting tuners in, mainly because with the TV tuner, a digital tuner, you'd be able to record programs off the TV, and of course the networks didn't want you to do that. What I would suggest is looking at your local thrift store and finding one that are maybe 5 or 10 years old. You want to make sure you get a good brand. Sony, Toshiba, JVC, all good options. Even like the Go Video ones from back during the mid to late 2000s were really good as well. Don't even worry about it if it doesn't have a remote, because all you need to do is test it in the thrift store, put in a DVD, put in a VHS tape, make sure that they both play. You can buy remotes on eBay for those things really cheaply, and that would be my recommendation. Stay away from the cheaper brands like Memorex, what's the other one? Sanyo, all the lower end ones. They won't last you. What I would highly recommend is to make sure that it is stereo, both on the VHS side and the DVD side. A lot of the cheaper ones, like the Sylvanias, the Sanyos, you'll find that the DVD portion will be stereo, but the VHS portion will be mono. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody here. I know I did last time. The questions come in so quick, I tend to miss some of them. Watch out for the brands made by Funai. Yeah, I've had issues with Funai in the past, but to be honest with you, they're the more recent models, like I would say 2015 and newer. If you go back further than that, Funai was actually a decent brand. GMC Yukon XL Denali, it does get a subwoofer. Interesting. I'm not surprised. I'd have to see where it is. It's funny. I'll be honest with you, that Bose stereo system in there can be a little touchy. And again, Eric warned me about this. It works all right most of the time, but I know a few times it got stuck where the screen didn't work or the volume knob got stuck. And the way I fixed it is the good old click and bang method. Right on top, and it starts working again. But you know what? The head unit in the my 2010 Chrysler Town and Country did the same thing at times. Just really sensitive. Your factory subwoofer, it is in their middle console. Interesting. I'm surprised there's room for it in there. But yeah, I guess there could be, because it is a huge center console. Jonathan Grindle goes, sadly, my workplace has banned wireless mice because they hack the computer systems. Yeah, there are ways to do that, and I definitely understand that being a security risk. Luckily, the fact I work from home, I can pretty much use any wireless mouse I want. Though, honestly, this is really the only one I have in my room that's wireless, except for the one on my Media Center PC. All my vintage systems and my data backup rig, I use everything wired, because I find if you have too many wireless devices in your room, they'll all compete for the same signal, and you'll have issues basically. We got 20 watchers, 37 likes. That's amazing. I still don't believe that ticker. I still think that we have more watchers here than it says. Mom has a 2017 Nissan Altima. Great sound system. It bumps nice Bose speakers. I guess they're using them now, yeah. Tyler asks, you still going on your trip? I still am going on the trip. Probably going to leave November 5th. As long as everything stays the way it should, everything fits into place, I should be leaving on the 5th. Found any, Don Brody, I think, wants to know if I found any gaming consoles lately. The only one I found recently was a Wii. I bought it at the thrift store and it didn't work. It had a bad disk drive, but I'm not too worried about it. They wanted $20, but I got it on 25% off day, so I wound up paying about 15, 16 after tax. And it came with 2 original remotes, 2 nunchucks, all the hookups, and everything. So that alone was worth what I paid for it. So I'll probably just wait. I can almost guarantee you I'll find another Wii at a garage sale, and I'll be able to pair everything together and make a nice profit off that. Not all General Motors vehicles have bows. Some of them did, especially the higher end models. A lot of them actually had not Soundwave, a Delco with Soundwave speakers, and then my 2003 LeSabre actually had a Panasonic stereo system in it. Jeff asks, what kind of internet speeds do you get with Fios? With cable, I'm getting about 250 down. We pay for the 100 down, 100 up package. If I wanted anything faster, which I don't need any. I have to get the updated modem. So I'm actually happy with what we have. I'm really the only one whoever uses the internet here, and that's more than enough bandwidth. Tyler goes, I'm going to fix the Benz rather than fix my Chevy Avalanche. I think that's a good, safe bet. From what you were telling me in our private conversation, I think, I think you're just going to be putting too much work into that Avalanche. Oh, I got something itching me. I wonder, maybe I need to shave again. 41 likes. That's insane. That's good though. Chipotle, I missed the GameCube. That was my favorite game system ever. It really depends on what games you like. I would have to say my favorite console ever was the original NES. Still is to this day. Oh man, my ear is still popping. This drives me crazy. I still have this Eustachian tube problem, and it gets worse at night. Tyler goes, we got done harvesting soybeans today and now have to chop corn and get hay home. Let's hope the weather will hold up for us farmers. It's bad. It's a bad year. Yeah, I have immense respect for farmers. That is a hard life, but can be very rewarding when you get lucky, I guess I should say. Brad Smith, in my last Jeep, I had to replace the CD player twice in it after I got it. I don't know what year you had, but if it's a newer one and has the same head unit that mine did, the double DIN with the fold-out screen, I'm not surprised. I guess I got very lucky with mine, but apparently they have a lot of issues. The hard drives would fail in them. The optical drives would stop reading, and even more than that, the motor that controls the head unit that tilts this way would go bad. So yeah, if it's one of those, I'm not surprised. Pat Scanlon, how much do Mega Drives go for these days? You'd have to search eBay. I'm not a video game expert myself. Are you referring to the Genesis that they call the Mega Drive, or the earlier ones, which were actually called Mega Drives? Because Mega Drives here in the U.S. were actually Sega Genesis systems. If that's what you're referring to, they're pretty cheap. I think you'd probably find those heck at a local yard sale for probably 30, 40 bucks. Yeah, there you go. Alien Tech said it right there. Eric was hoping to get the S10 finished this weekend. Well, that's all right if you don't, because I think you and I had a good idea. I remember what you were talking about now. I'm not going to spill the beans here, but I think that is a really good idea. I'm on board with that, Eric. Definitely. John the Grindle, I'm trying to get the Black Edition PlayStation 1 system. Wasn't that the programmers one? If that's what you're talking about, good luck. They are extremely rare. And if you can find one, I hope you got deep pockets. 45. We might beat last. What did we get for likes yesterday? I think we got up to 80, so we got a ways to go. It was the Japanese version. The programming one I know was black, but maybe, like you said, that there was a Japanese version too. My LED light here is flickering for some reason. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I really do enjoy Aldi and Lidl for their special buys, like their tools and things, but they're not always the greatest quality. I did, however, find one universal wrench I got from Aldi on clearance, believe it or not, for I think I paid $4.50. That is really turned out to be a really handy tool. Now, I wouldn't want to use this on at an everyday job like if I was a mechanic, but for like adjusting bike seats, doing work on bikes, the occasional maybe having to remove the bike rack from my vehicle. It's proven to be an immensely useful tool. And basically what it is, it's got these little beads in here that when you put it on a bolt, it'll actually conform to that bolt pretty much no matter what size it is. And it's actually pretty strong. I was surprised at how well it gripped. I need to go ahead and do a review video of that. And Dad actually has one he hasn't even opened yet, so I can actually show you what it looked like in the package and then just use the one that I've opened. Jonathan Grindle, interesting. He said, I found that LED bulbs affect my Wi-Fi internet speeds. I wonder if there's a correlation between like the wavelengths that the LED lights use and the actual Wi-Fi system. It wouldn't surprise me. Pumpkin Run car show. Oh, okay. Although Saturday is the Pumpkin Run, which that takes priority. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me see. The 5th. Well, I'm coming up that Tuesday. We're going to have to shore this up a little bit later. I'm supposed to call the gentleman that I'm going to be working for on the 1st and make sure that everything's still a go. And as long as it's still a go, then it looks like I'll be traveling up on the 5th. Harold K. Hey, Matt, have you heard about this whole YouTube P-score thing? You can see how your videos are rated by YouTube and even see if a certain video gets throttled for certain factors. No, I actually haven't. It's called the YouTube P-score. The p-value. I'll have to look that up. I'll keep that page open for afterwards. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I had Mexican for lunch, so it's coming out of the attic and the basement right now. Though you guys probably didn't need to know that. Jonathan Grindle went to the grocery store and they wanted $30 for a small pumpkin, and the manager said that's the actual price. I wouldn't buy one. Honestly, I don't really celebrate Halloween anymore. I used to, but when I started to think about it, I said, is that really what a good Christian would do? It's really a pagan, demonic holiday, and our church actually has a alternative to that. It's the fall festival, and a lot of kids do show up to it. So I would recommend doing something like that. But I get it. I get it. If your kids are used to trick or treating, then yeah, you're probably going to want to do that. But again, at the fall festival, they have candy too. They have a hayride. They have little like carnival games. It's actually pretty cool. Chris Garrett, my Galaxy S9 will not notify me of email or any alerts. Also, it will not follow my location for weather updates. I have to manually update and email someone doesn't load. Any ideas on the fix? Well, very first thing is I would go ahead and just do a hard reboot on the phone. You may have just had too much uptime without restarting it, and that could be causing a lot of your problems. If your notifications are not working, make sure that all your volumes are turned up. But If they are, again, just doing that reboot might fix a lot of your issues. About having to manually update in emails. That could be a networking problem. If that doesn't fix your problem, I would just bring it back to wherever you bought it from, probably your carrier, and see if they have any ideas. Also, make sure that you have the latest actual phone update. I'm not talking about the update that you get for Android. That's one, but you also have an update that your carrier sends out to update the phone's firmware for that carrier. You want to make sure that's updated too. Scott Keeley, the 4 pieces I got from my buddy works. But the Acer Aspire 1400 from 2002 has a red flickery screen. Yeah, they did. The Acers from that era had very glitchy LCD panels. I'm not sure what it was, but those LCDs in the 90s, early 2000s did not last too long. Yeah, what they used to do is they used to route the video cable through the hinge. So every time you open and close the hinge, you were putting a little bit of wear on that cable, and eventually they would just break. Mr. Jimmy, is a Crucial BX500 120 gigabyte SSD good for $20? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, that's an old drive. That's one of the earlier generation drives. I would probably not pay any more than $10 or $15 for that, because you have to remember, Windows 10 with its latest build uses about 70, 80 gigs alone. So if you're going to load Windows 10 on that, you really need to have at least a 240 gig SSD. A 120 really isn't going to do it anymore. Matt, have you tried the DVD entertainment system in your Yukon? Yes, I have. It works perfectly. I'm very happy with that. And it's interesting. At first I thought that you actually had to plug the headphones into the center console in the back to hear it, but apparently that's not the case. When you actually turn the DVD player on, it actually connects to the Bose unit in front. You can actually have it come out through all the speakers. Haven't figured out how to get the DVD to play in the front head unit, though. It may not. It may be disabled by default. I bet you there are ways around that. I think one of the cats is knocking on the door. Let me see if the cats are here. I'm going to let them in if they are. Do we have kitties here? Yeah, I was just trying to see if the cats were here. Maxie, Milo. Here's Milo. Okay, come on. Come on. Yep, Milo wanted to come in. Yes, I am. Look at this, tubers. Look who's here. It's Mr. Milo. I can't shut him out. He's so cute. He just kind of scratches at the door. You're a good boy, aren't you? How about we get some likes for having Milo here? Good boy. What if I turn you around so they can see your face? Here we go. Good boy, Milo. He's being bashful right now. Aren't you, bud? $52 likes. Bye, Matt. Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Jimmy. I appreciate that. Bye now. Say hi, Mai. Oh, wow. That really drained your face, huh? Yes, it did. Yes, it did, Mr. Milo. We always got to get Milo in. Oh, okay. I didn't think that would last too long. Pat Scanlon, where did the name Milo come from? My mother actually came up with that. But there was a Disney movie years ago, Milo and Otis, and I think that's where she got it from, if I'm not mistaken. The Adventures of Milo and Otis, 1986. Take a look at it. Actually, here, I'll share the reference to it on the Internet Movie Database. Oh, I'm trying to click and drag. I'm telling you, I am really, really tired tonight. I think I need to go to bed after this. Pradkins, why are you selling your Buick LeSabre? I knew that question was going to come up. Because something has to go. I can't maintain 3 vehicles. And I toyed with the notion of keeping that and selling the Tahoe, but at the end of the day, I really like having the larger vehicles. And the Tahoe is not really that bad on fuel economy. Around town, I can get 16, 17 miles a gallon. I'd rather have the 2 SUVs, to be honest with you. Now I'm not going to sell the Buick right away unless somebody really wanted. I mean, if somebody said, "Yeah, I need a car," and they were going to give me the price I want for it, then yeah, I would sell it right away. But I'm not actively listing it for sale yet. That'll probably come towards the beginning of the year. Yeah, it's too expensive. I mean. And insurance really isn't that bad because on the Yukon I have full coverage, but the other 2 I only have liability. But it's really down to maintenance. Maintaining 3 vehicles is very expensive. I mean, we're talking about just basic things: oil changes, keeping gas in it, changing air filters out, and then of course the things you have to do. Pretty much every 50, 60,000 miles. Changing O2 sensors, changing the MAF sensors. It's just too much money. I love the baby picture of you. Oh, yeah. You guys see that a lot. Yeah, that was me at about age 2.5, maybe 3. Yeah, I was a cute little Dickens, wasn't I? That was before I gained all the weight. I didn't really start to get heavy until I was maybe 8 or 9, and then from there it was just blew up after that. Bradkins likes cats. I like that. A lot of people are indifferent when it comes to cats, and there are a lot of people that are just plain afraid of them. But we love cats. We love all kinds of animals, to be honest with you. Eric goes, that's around the same time I started getting heavy too. Yeah, and not to change the topic, but I think a lot of you guys will get something out of this. The reason that I got heavy is because as a family, we really didn't know how to eat healthy, and we didn't know portion control. When I was 8, 9, 10, it was uncommon for me to have seconds, thirds, and even sometimes fourths. I remember going to parties when I was young, and I would go and just eat as much as I could, pretty much eat myself into a coma. And that was never good. But you know what? We didn't know. We were just having fun back then. We didn't know how bad overeating was. Okay, you can view the P-score by opening the video's page source and searching for video content label rating in the source. Sorry, my stream is lagging really bad right now. Okay, I'll have to give that a try. So the P-score, the video source, and then the video content label rating. Content rating. All right, I'll check it out. I never watch TV in my alcove, honestly. I don't even use the couch anymore. I usually go on the bed. And the little I watch TV, I really only watch TV early in the morning and late at night. Don Brody says, at 6'2", 200 pounds seems low to me. It's about where I should be for my body. I am a large frame person, so ideally, 6'2", large frame. I should be anywhere between 200 and maybe 209 pounds. So I'm right where I need to be. Here goes. That was the age I discovered my neighbor's homemade fried chicken. Ooh, I used to love me some fried chicken. I could probably eat 10 pieces. And again, food coma. Do you still have, oh my gosh, I can't believe Eric remembers this. Do you still have that console stereo in the other closet? I do indeed. What was that, a Magnavox, I think? The one that stands up tall. It's AM, FM 8-track. I need to bring that out and do something with that. I might need to consider selling it because I don't really use it. And I'd rather have it find its way to somebody who could restore it and use it properly. Yeah. What do we got?
Call from
spam, 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 spam. Wonderful spam. Lovely spam. Hello. This is a recording. At the message, please leave a beep. Beep. I'll tell you, one of these days I need to answer this live and we'll just mess around with these people because the way I look at it, they're wasting my time. Why not waste some of theirs? Oh, we have 51 minutes, 59 likes. That's cool. I still can't believe that we got this many people here today. Panasonic makes the best cordless phone, hands down. I would not even argue that point. And the reason they do, Panasonic uses regular nickel metal hydride AAA batteries. So you can go to any store, buy a nickel metal hydride rechargeable battery, and you're good to go. They don't use any proprietary battery packs or anything like that. As you can see, I'm just using some Rayovac batteries in there. I'm sure it would. Chris Garrett says your videos will go up if you mess with the scammers. Next time they call, and if they call next time we're doing a live stream, we're going to do that because that's going to be fun. Brad Smith goes, hey, Matt, I went to the eye doctor today and they pictures of cats and dogs to vote on. Oh, that's cool. My eye doctor, I used to go to an eye specialist when I was young, and he actually had a projector that he would test our vision with. And I remember he would have different Disney movies. And I think the one that I remember he had last was Lady and the Tramp. But he had, for a while, he had 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It was really cool. It was a really fond memory from my childhood. Yeah, Alien Tech says you can't kill Panasonic phones. I agree. They're diehards. These are probably 5 or 10 years old now. But we got about 5 more minutes. I'm counting them because I am getting really tired at this point. And let me just make sure. Okay. Want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats because you guys called me out on that last time. Eric goes, cool thing about using OBS Studio is you can record while streaming so you can easily edit the portion down and upload it separately. Yeah, I need to get into OBS Studio more when I have the time. I think I've had some Uniden phones way back maybe 10, 15 years ago. We don't hardly ever use our landline. I don't even know why we still have it. We actually need to get rid of it. Well, I got a few years on you, Pradkins. About 5, was it 10, 11, almost 12 years. Alien Tech. Good night, guys. Gonna go eat dinner. Have a good night, Matt. Thank you very much. Hopefully, I'll see you at the next live stream. I think we're going to end this at about 55 minutes in because I am just really, really tired. Jonathan Grindle, I have a free landline since I use Google's voice over IP. Yeah, that's another great option. I remember the Magic Jack. That's the one I used to use. John Burr, I still hang on to the landline and VHS. Now DVD is old. Can't let go. No, we can't. We are creatures of habit. I have seen Homeward Bound. I saw that when it was in the theater back in, what was it, 1993. Very good movie. Loved it. George Stewart Mac got a high and tight haircut. Well, I've never heard it called that before, but yeah, it's a fade. You can't tell on the camera, but they use the number 2 clippers on top and number 1 on the side. And yeah, it's what I usually get, usually during the summer. But it's been so warm here because of the Indian summer. I said, you know what? I'll go ahead and just get it really short. And hopefully by the time it gets cold, maybe in the next week or so, it'll have grown out just right. All right, everybody, that is it. I am ending the live stream here. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you to Samuel Heron for the $2 to New Zealand dollar super chat. Might do one tomorrow, might not. Check your inboxes. Please have a great night. And as always, have a blessed day tomorrow.